To the Fitchburg Municipal Airport Commission meeting. It's July 16th, 2025, 6 o'clock p.m. Members in attendance this evening, to my far left is Commissioner Eric Cattell. To my immediate left, Commissioner Paul Hathaway. Hello. To my far right, Richie Liberatore, and myself, Clayton Raymond, Chairman. Also, we have Peter Kettle, Airport Manager, here with us again in the flesh. He apparently just doesn't want to leave, but I'm glad he's here. All right, let's get to it. First thing, I'd like to approve or accept last meeting's minutes by Secretary Richard Liberatore. Motion to approve?
Seconded. Good job.
Also,
I'll vote. I say
Aye.
I say also in attendance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Also in attendance is Jackie Marks from Gale Associates. Sorry, Jackie.
Oh, can she hear us? Oh, there she is.
I can hear you. I cannot see you.
Oh,
Invisible.
I think it's coming.
it's the cloak of invisibility.
Okay. Moving on, the action items from previous month's minutes. Thinking we're going to cover what we need to reiterate, so we'll do that. Correspondence to the commission, it says no. Anything, Peter?
We didn't have
from you?
anything, no.
Can you see us yet, Jackie?
I cannot see you, no.
All right.
Just see the Fitchburg Access Television words.
Okay.
Dan will be working on it.
You want to go to new business?
Oh, we do the Gale review.
Well, Jackie, are you okay to do your review if you can't see us?
Oh, yeah, of course. That's completely fine. No problem.
Okay.
Just, I think I know all of your voices, but if someone has a question, if you could just state your name, just so I know for sure.
Perfect. We'll do that. I'm
Great.
thinking. All right. Then item 2 is Gale review of ongoing work. Jackie.
Oh, there you are. Okay, I see you now. Perfect. So just quickly, thank you so much to Peter for printing out the agendas that all of you have in front of you. Our update really isn't very robust today, so just figured I'd jump online and say hi. As far as, just jumping right in on project number 1, the design and permitting for the main apron. There's really no update since last month. It's scheduled to be constructed 2026 and bid later this year. So plenty of time to initiate that and execute that. I know that some of the design work has already begun, and Andrew and Mark continue to work on that. So stay tuned for more details on that, but any questions that you might have, I'm happy to take them back to the office and get back to you with responses.
Any questions on that, item 1?
No, good.
We're good.
Okay, perfect. I'll just move on to page 2 of 2. So bids for the design and installation of wildlife fencing were received on the 26th of June. There were 3 bidders, the low bidder being Hasty Fence. The overall bid, 1.655 some odd million of their project costs. So the total project cost, including GB Hasty's bid, Gale's fees, sponsor administration is going to be $2,045,000. Initially, the project was set up, it was bid out in 4 phases, really a base bid with 3 additive alternates. And that was done so that, bid prices were pretty, volatile lately coming in, and just fluctuations in the prices of construction materials and everything. So we wanted to be conservative with this one and make sure that the airport had the opportunity to construct as much fencing as possible with the funds available. So it was bid out with a base bid, 3 alternates, and actually the prices came in so low that FAA has now said that they may be able to fund all 4 pieces of that fence this year. I know we had talked previously about, maybe having to pick and choose which ones to complete, and still waiting for a definitive answer, but FAA did allow the grant application to be submitted for the total amount, $2,045,000. So they've received that grant application, it's under review, and as soon as we have information about the award, we'll certainly pass that on to all of you. Are there any questions, comments, concerns?
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
Jackie, I believe the price reduction was because we took so much of the fence away, in all honesty, because when the first design came out, there was a lot of fencing there that was really superfluous to the needs of the airport. And we must have taken maybe 1,000 feet out of it, maybe more. So I think that has resulted in the lower price.
Understood. Well, I'm glad that we were able to, revise things and get it to a point where, you may be able to get the entire project done within this year.
Jackie, this GB Hasty Fence Company, they a local company or where are they out of?
Oh, goodness, GB Hasty, I don't have that at at my fingertips,
Pick me,
but
pick
I
me.
can certainly find out.
They're from Agawam, Massachusetts.
Agawam?
I already looked
Okay.
it up.
Really? Okay.
So they are just outside of Springfield, I guess.
Wow.
Thank you.
Jackie, I have a question. Just for clarity, the $2.045 million for the fencing, that included all 4 alternatives? That's the combined
Yes.
total?
That's the combined total, so that's the overall project cost. That's actually not only the construction, but it's Gale's fee for, administering, doing construction, resident engineering, and all the other pieces, and any other sponsor administration that was included as part of the project. I'm not sure the exact amount that was submitted, but that's just sort of costs that might be needed for, notifications or any costs, administrative costs that the airport might run into throughout the duration of the project.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Yep, and so, fortunately, the project is being funded 95% by FAA and then 5% by the state, so local share is $0, and the prices came in lower, so it's all good news, I think, on this end of things.
Yeah, very, very good news.
Good.
Any other
questions, comments, concerns, anything that I can answer or that I haven't answered?
No, it's good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you all. I'm gonna hang on and listen, but I'm gonna turn my camera off.
All right, thank you, Jackie.
Thanks,
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, thank you all. It was good to see you briefly.
All right. Item 3, new business, Twin Towers Memorial.
Yes, as you all know, Twin Towers Memorial is coming to the airport on the 5th, 6th and 7th of September. It really is quite a remarkable piece of equipment, engineering equipment, not only what the exposition is going to actually portray, because they bring it in on a 40-foot container, and it opens up into a massive building with a roof on it as well from that one 40-foot container. So at the beginning of this month, I was asked about what insurance does the city have and the airport have, They needed to see that because being what it is, it travels around the USA and they need cover, obviously. So I sent both the insurance covers that we have were acceptable to them. But at the same time, I asked them what their insurance was like. And they've actually come back saying they have a certificate that, you know, we've seen and everything's good on that. We had a walkthrough yesterday with Joe Fermani, the guy that's organising all of this, together with one of the police and also one of the fire department people. And they love the way that we've set it up in case we start building, you know, in that area down towards the end of the old 2-0. So they accepted all that. And basically, there's no outstanding items that we need to do now, other than wait for them, because they're going to get a police in the front of them when they come through, and the intention is to come down Route 12 and then go over the bridge and then up through the city, virtually the same way that the July the 4th parade went, so people can see it as it comes through. They said that in the other places that they've actually shown it, there's a really lot of enthusiasm there. Little kids with fire engine caps on and everything else, they've got a big lot of support. So it will be a good day and a half, basically, because they need the other time to set it up.
So they're self-promoting this?
Yeah.
We're not
Yes, they
having
are.
to do anything?
No, nothing. Nothing.
Great.
So it's actually on Facebook, so it's getting a lot of likes.
Oh, that's why I know nothing
Oh,
about it.
yeah, most probably.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay, that's great. Thanks,
Okay.
Peter. 5, 6, and 7 of August?
Yes.
September.
No,
September.
September, it'll be set up on the 5th.
Of course, so I can't make it.
And the 6th, it'll be on show.
Never fails,
The
right?
7th,
Got the whole summer.
they'll start
picked up
taking
one
it
day.
down. So basically, the day for the actual expedition is going to be, you know, the 6th.
The 6th, right.
Yes.
It's Labor Day weekend.
Great.
It is.
Item 2, North Central COC.
Chamber of Commerce.
Okay,
I had a meeting with Roy Nascimento, who's the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and also a young man named Travis Condon. And at the meeting, I asked if we could have a meeting at the airport as against being at their place, because I wanted to show them around. And the question was, well, why? You know, we know all about the airport. So I asked a few questions, and they didn't know all about the airport.
Right.
So now we've got a meeting set up with them. I think it's the 6th of August. They're coming to the airport, and I'm going to show them the presentation that I made to the school systems. And, you know, I said to them, I said, look, everybody around here knows about the airport, but nobody outside of here knows about the airport. So if somebody's coming up from Florida and they hit the airport, they just see the airport. They don't see what it's all about. So they were really willing and happy to put a better presentation than what they have. And hopefully after this meeting that we have, everybody will be in a good position, you know, to really expound the values of coming to Fitchburg.
no, that's great,
Okay?
yeah.
Super.
You gotta do community out, I mean, I've known people that live here 2-3 years and didn't even know there was an airport in town.
Right. Right.
With that plane's flying low.
And just on that, you know that we made a
Gee,
presentation.
where do all those planes land?
Just on that, you know that we made a presentation to the Applewild School, got a good reception. We also did the same to the Fitchburg High School, again. So now, yesterday and today, I've reached out to the Fitchburg State University and also to the Cushing Academy, because a lot of those children actually fly into Logan or Bedford, or Hanscom, sorry, and they drive here. Why not fly to Fitchburg? Because they don't know about it. So, you know, hopefully this will get even more jets coming in with
Yeah.
more fuel cells. So I'm hoping, you know, Sally Cragen is doing a lot on this with me as well.
Oh,
So-
great,
Okay,
yeah,
so that's it.
super. All right, out of new business into old business. Old business, we got Gerald P. Lombard, new name for airport, presented by Jeff Bean. I think we're still on hold on that because there's a moratorium on,
There is. Can I just read it?
you sure can.
Okay. Councillor Marcus Di Natale and Andrew Couture on behalf of Fitchburg Airport residents, oh no, that's not it, I beg your pardon. Councillor Boschman to petition to enact a moratorium on the naming of city buildings after individuals for 1 year. And it was accepted by the City Council. So whereas the City Council of Fitchburg recognised the importance and permanence of naming municipal buildings and facilities, and whereas the naming of public buildings after individuals is a significant civic gesture that should reflect broad community values and historical context, and whereas recent discussion and public feedback have indicated the need to review and potentially revise the city's policies and procedures regarding such dedications. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Fitchburg that a moratorium is hereby established in the naming of or renaming of any city-owned building, facility or public space after any individual for a period of 5 years from the date of adoption of this resolution. So it looks like a 5-year one. So I believe it was accepted as a 1-year moratorium and not a 5-year. So that's the latest information. So I'm just going to take this off. I'll take it off the agenda. With everybody's approval?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine with me.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea because it's just, it doesn't do much in terms of moving the city forward economically, but it creates an awful lot of
Peter, can I see that?
make busy work, you know?
Yeah. All right, old business item B, terrain tower light.
Jackie and I spoke about that today, and we're both on the same page. If you remember, Gale, we're going to look at any potential. She spoke to Owen Silbau and got the same response, basically. We're going to put a placeholder on this until maybe the beginning of next year, when the new agreements and grants are issued by the FAA. We may be able to get something from them, or we may be able to go with an ASMP grant from MassDOT. So I'll just
Does the
leave that.
property owner know that we're at least
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
addressing
He
it?
said he's really happy that we are pursuing with it.
Yeah,
He's against just dropping it, so.
yeah,
That's great.
thanks, Peter.
Welcome.
Item C, minimum standards. I know that we had sent an email to the FAA to review.
Yep.
And comment. They came back with some comments, and I think either Peter or Paul was working on those
Yeah.
changes.
Full.
So the comments are, kind of fall into 3 categories. There are some that are, I think they're good suggestions. They're perhaps identifying overreaches or clauses that aren't suitable to the nature of the airport currently around TSA approval and security and the like, so that I'll make those edits. There are some comments that are sort of just very kind of nitpicky. They could go either way. There's one category of comment that is sort of antithetical to the guidance we've gotten in the past around square footage leases. So I'd be inclined to keep our language the way it was as we approved, because the letter you shared, Peter, from the FAA was crystal clear that leases have to be in square feet. And of course, the first comment we got back was, you can't say that. Which is humorous, and I understand that there's nuances to this, so I think I should make these small edits. My question is, does this then force a revision that goes again to public comment, or are these very minor changes and deletions? Can we just call this Rev 0725 Bravo and it's acceptable? I mean, there's nothing is changing in it other than the removal of clauses around security. So I'd suggest that anybody that found it acceptable in the first place, we're not adding any content or requirements, we're deleting requirements and content. So I don't really think we should have to go through the entire process again.
No.
I think the first motion was to accept as is. And
It
with
was
the-
accepted, yeah.
Yeah, with the provision that we send it for comment,
Correct.
yeah.
And so the comments, other than the couple that require kind of reduction of requirements, they're trivial. It's a few minutes' work. And I don't think it should force us to have to re-adopt it.
What
And if the motion, and if the motion, as you suggest, was accept with FAA input, then I think we're okay.
Yeah, that's my assumption.
I was going to say, could we put a section of a change log, document what changed, and then say this was removed and leave it there, but just block it out?
It's a good idea. Just release notes at the beginning
Yeah.
that are indicative that this version changed, but in minor ways, and here's what changed. It's easy.
Yeah.
I'll just
I
make
would
those
like,
changes.
I would like to know each and every change.
I'll make those changes
Yeah.
and we can, I'll just email it out to everybody.
Yeah, resend it to the people who are on copy with it, including the FAA and the,
I don't think they need to look at it again, because
No, I don't think
their stuff is
Oh, all
just
right.
suggestions.
Okay.
I mean, their feedback was, this doesn't constitute approval, and you do or do not have to do anything about these comments. It's just advice, so.
And they know where to find it because it's published.
Paul, I sent you a comment on the square footage. Did you get that?
I did.
Okay. So my point being, the FAA is fuzzy about how we base the rent lease, whether it's land or buildings. But they were adamant that it was equal throughout.
Yeah, the equitable part I get, and that's sort of what they put in their comments, but it is, the letter that Peter forwarded was very explicit that it has to be square feet. It's the only way to be equitable. Otherwise, you're comparing apples to oranges, right?
Yes.
It's a tie down. What is a tie down? It's how many metric feet is a tie down,
Right.
Linear inches. So I'd suggest that we can insert a small clause that says, all leases need to be equitable, and as such, are based on square feet.
Beautiful.
Done.
Yeah, that's good, because
That would make me happy.
we've had two letters, and the first letter in 2002 actually said, and that's when they did the assessment of the airport,
Yeah.
that it must be to square foot. And then because the person that we were talking to disagreed with that, we got the second letter.
Yeah.
And the second letter was absolutely paramount.
Yeah, there's-
It will be to square
Right.
foot.
There's no doubt reading that letter, that
Absolutely.
was like, you must, thou shalt.
So, yeah, I mean, for the past 5.5 years, every new agreement we've done has been square foot. And I would hate to change it at this late stage.
Yeah.
It needs to stay per square foot.
Well, it's what we've adopted over the
Right.
last 10 years of me being on the commission
Right.
with, well,
Yeah.
you and Richie and others. It's the way we base our rents, and it keeps things equitable. And to not change anything, or at least comment on their comment, well, I think we have to do something.
All we need to add is
Yeah.
the equitable clause,
Yeah,
and you're done.
right.
That's easy.
To ignore it would just be foolhardy on our part.
I mean, to be fair, there are plenty of other places in the document that reference agreements being equitable, and the process by which they
Yeah.
shall be equitable.
Yeah.
Including all the boilerplate, non-discriminatory content. I don't have a problem there. There's another couple of comments about, we're missing from our list of aeronautical activities certain very specific categories like powered parachutes, and I mean, and that's sort of what all of the above. is supposed to capture, otherwise you'd have 35 pages of potential.
Of course. Yeah.
Skydiving or whatever.
Electric airplanes.
So I think we can take some of those and other such activities as approved by the commission. And that's what it says now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, some of that stuff doesn't really need to find its way back in. It's just muddying the waters, but I will edit that and forward it this week.
Yeah,
It's easy.
yeah, and we'll rename it or amend it or Amendment 1 or whatever.
Yeah,
So
Amendment
that-
1 with a change log.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then typically, minimum standards, is it published, is there a place for it on the city website, on the airport?
It can go on there.
Yeah.
Like-
Had it been in the past?
No,
No.
no. But I think to be open like that, is
Probably
a good
should
thing.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good thing.
Yeah,
The safety and security plan's on there now,
it is.
so yeah,
Yeah.
so yes.
So whatever section of the website is
We'll
a
get it put up.
space.
Yeah. As soon as it's done.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Paul.
Good deal.
Everyone, for that matter. Old business still, item D, Rockin Enterprises LLC, Phase 1.
Okay,
We got
yeah,
some
yeah.
pictures.
The update. Everything's still going ahead with Rockin Horse Enterprises attorney and the people that have actually already identified that they are part of the first 30. So based on that, and all Bob's waiting for is confirmation that it's all done, signed and sealed, and then it'll be sent out to all of the people involved. So in discussions with Bob, and I think we brought this up at the last meeting, we needed to advertise it because it's never been advertised. And there was some talk about where to put it. And Bob and I put these up today, and you see the smaller picture, the smaller sign. They are both the same size. They're 4 foot by 8 foot. And the smaller one is actually right in front of the admin building from the runway side.
That's brilliant,
So any jet or anything that comes in can see it.
because that's who you're advertising to, people
Absolutely.
inside the fence.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a nuance.
So, but the good thing as well, Paul, if you look at the bigger one, right?
Yeah,
We put that, I don't know if you can say where that is, but
looking at the fuel farm from the parking lot. Yeah.
exactly. Because we get a lot of people in here that don't fly out of Fitchburg, but they come to the Fitchburg Pilots Association Tuesday meetings. And they will see it, and if they're not happy where they are, if they can come to that meeting, they can definitely have a hangar at Fitchburg. So that's where we decided to put it. So we've got it inside the parking lot. As soon as you come in, you see it, and also on the outside in that point in front of the admin building. We chose that position because if anybody wants fuel from the self-serve, they're going to go past that and see it in any case.
Yep.
And so are the jets.
A good sign.
So they went up today, and it was absolutely boiling. It was so hot.
It was.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, we
I saw you in
got
your
it up-
sun hat.
Oh, you did, yes. Yeah, my golf hat, that is. When I eventually play, I haven't played this year, you know? So,
I think this is a great visual impact, and it's the kind of thing that somebody coming in to get fuel will snap with their cell phone and share to their aviation friends, right? Because I've already had people asking me, friends based at other airports, is it possible to do something similar with restaurant pad available somewhere on Crawford Street where we could advertise the fact that we have, that restaurant pad available?
it is, I mean, this...
How much were these each, these signs?
For both of them, it was $1,700 for both.
Yeah,
But that's not out of our budget.
right.
I got Bob to pay for them.
Yeah, of course.
So, because it's his project.
Sure.
So, yeah, there is. There is.
I'd love to see, development opportunities available, non-aviation land lease and
Yeah.
restaurant pad, and it's just a call to action. There's quite a bit of commercial traffic on Crawford Street. You never know, one day somebody might drive by and go, I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could work that well, somebody has to field those phone calls or that,
Well, to be honest, I think this is an ideal opportunity for Mary Jo,
yeah, yeah.
you know? City development.
Yeah.
Did we give any thought of putting one of these signs at the main gate as well? Or is that not?
It's not necessary, because when you drive past the main gate, you're going to see it.
I agree though with Paul,
Yeah.
the restaurant, I think we're missing a good opportunity of putting a sign out where the marquee is on Crawford Street, advertising the restaurant,
Right.
you know? I know we discussed that, and we kind of breezed it off.
Could even be a
I think
banner.
Paul had a good
Banner,
idea.
banner, Something.
Yep,
And
Yeah,
like
I
what
think we should
Paul
jump on
alluded to
that.
earlier, you know, word travels quick nowadays
Yep.
with the click of a phone to,
It
hey,
does.
check this out.
This is exactly.
Then they got everything they need. They know the square footage available. They know who to contact. They know it's here at Fitchburg. It's, you know, it's coming soon.
The deposits on phase 2, when is he going to open the books for that? Is that going to be subsequent to phase 1
Oh,
starting?
yeah, definitely. He's treating them both separately. To be quite honest, I think those deposits will be asked for around about November, December time.
This year?
Yes,
Really?
yes.
Interesting.
Because basically what his intention is to have the first lot in round about November, if the weather's good. He's going to do all the bases for the first phase, and then once he's got those up, he'll start the second phase with the base.
Pending the arrival of the erectitude
Right.
type buildings.
Right.
Got it. And that's days of work.
Yeah.
Months of work.
Yes, it is.
The site prep is most of it. And what is his target price for phase 2 T-hangers and then the 48 foots, do you know?
At the same basis that he's put everything else on, it'll be $110 a square foot. And the first one, I mean, the smaller ones, the 1,000 square feet, all they're $110,000. So the bigger ones, you know, will be whatever the square foot is times 110. So I think one of them's about 1,450 square feet. That's where it's got the working space on the side, where we took that partition off to make it a bigger area. That works out about $153,000 for a large hangar. For a large hangar with a workshop. So, no, it's well priced, very well priced.
That was the impression I got. So I was at an aviation gathering at the Omni Seaport in Boston, all very well-heeled owners of various aircraft. And when I threw very similar prices out, nobody blinked. They were like, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah,
Because these are guys based at Bedford right now, and they're getting squeezed out,
hammered, absolutely,
hammered.
yeah.
All the requirements, the fuel pricing, the security, the traffic there, you can wait 10, 15 minutes to get a takeoff clearance. It's material to usage of the engine and fuel costs. So, no, I think this is really good, Peter.
In addition to this, I'm sending copies of one of them, the big one. I'm sending it through to MAMA, so every single airport manager in the Massachusetts area will get a copy of it.
Great.
The only problem there is he might not want to do that because he should be doing it at his own airport. But
Right.
there's a lot of those airports that don't have the availability of the land that we have.
Absolutely.
So, you know,
Yeah, no, if done right,
I'll get
it's
it out
gonna
to
work
Mama.
out real well.
right.
And I'm sorry, but presuming upon the completion, once they get a certificate of occupancy or whatever is required for the phase 1, is it beholden on the individual owners to form a cooperative, or is Bob going to do that for them?
Bob's going to start that
He's gonna
cooperative going
Start
with
an
his attorney, yes.
LLC for them? Yeah, okay, great.
So they're gonna have, each one's gonna be a co-op?
They'll all be part of the one.
The whole
90 hangars will be
association's
part
gonna
of
be
it.
all 3
Yes.
phases?
Yes.
That makes the most sense.
Well, we've got 57 on the first one, you know, here it's going to be around about 90.
Because otherwise you'd have to have 3 separate annual meetings,
Right.
3 treasurers, 3 secretaries. No.
All right, I have a question. The occupancy permit, will we start collecting rent ourselves after phase 1 is completed, or are we gonna have to wait till all 3 phases?
No, definitely, first phase done, we'd get the money,
Okay,
absolutely, because they're going to be getting the money.
right,
So definitely, no, that was the intention,
my point exactly,
yeah.
all right.
And is, another question, is there a fire suppression system in these hangars? No, so they're not.
They're not large enough to qualify for it, so, which is really good. And when we first started talking about it, I said to Bob, I said, look, give us the cheapest hangar that you can, that somebody's going to be happy with it without having fire suppression.
Right.
And every single one of them is below the required level. So
So if somebody opted to want fire suppression.
he can do it.
Or water.
He can put it in himself.
Yeah, you could put in a halon or
Yeah.
dry foam.
Right,
Okay.
okay? And that same goes for the heaters as well. If somebody wants heating in there, it puts his own heat pump in there.
Yeah.
And if he wants it, he'll have to pay for it. So
The price of the hangar is cold, or is it with heat?
that's without heat. That's no heat in that whatsoever, other than insulation on the roof.
Okay.
So,
And fire blocking between
And
hangars.
the door, yes.
Yes.
All right. Anyone else?
Good.
Very good. Now, I'll be looking forward to seeing that. So, even the pads, before snow flies, the pads should be in place, and
Yes, sir.
we should
That's
have a steel in
definitely
like
the
May or
intention.
something like
Yeah.
that, or sooner. Good. Item E, airport manager. Go ahead, Peter.
All right. I thought you were going to do it.
Still the airport manager, should be called still the airport manager.
I am. Rich and I actually interviewed a person that was very interesting, got a good background, military background as well. Basically, he's being offered the position. Because of his own personal situation, he can only commence the job October the 1st. And I am not staying on until October the 1st. So the intention is to try and get him to come in and do, I guess, 3 or 4 days of the week, or 2 or 3 days of the week initially, as part-time, and then move on to the full-time position when it's available, when he's available to come here. He's looking at a place to live. He's already done that. But he does have quite a difficult personal situation that can be overcome. And basically the city, the HR department's delighted with the person and the responses he's getting from him. So just to let you know, I've told the city that I will be leaving at the end of August, because I've got a life to live as well. So, and I'm not just going to drop them in the water, obviously. So, we'll work it out between us. So.
My only comment is, yes, I've met him. I think he's worth the wait. Unfortunately, we do have to wait for reasons Peter just spoke of, but he's enthusiastic about it, very well spoken. We have a well-rounded individual, and I don't know that the actual job offer is in his inbox at the moment.
It will be in his inbox on Friday.
Yeah.
What's his professional background other than the military?
He has worked in many locations throughout the world. He was an envoy in certain areas of the world. He speaks fluent Japanese and Chinese. He learned those when he was there, and he actually did interviews for people for those bases. And on those bases, there were airports that he managed. And he was responsible for the whole entourage for President Biden when he went over to Japan. That was his baby. He had to look after the whole thing. So,
And he is a private pilot.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, last month, we had given an offer to our first choice who had declined, and then we were going to go back and offer the second choice. Is this someone different from that second choice?
yes.
Okay, so the second choice also then declined.
No, the second one didn't decline. Basically, the second one, according to the HR department, took too long to respond to certain things.
Oh, okay.
And as an airport manager, you can't do that. You've got to give a response straight away.
Okay.
Like today. Just to let you know,
Yep.
we had a plane come in. He stayed overnight. It's a twin, Baron. And he took off and went on his way to Kansas City and was stopping somewhere on the route for fuel. And one of the guys at the flight school took off and he noticed something on the ground. and it was one of the bungs that you put in to stop the birds going in overnight or whatever can get in there.
Engine cowl cover.
A cowling cover, yes. So they brought it to me and said, what are you going to do about this? Oh, my God, if that guy didn't take, it was a twin. So if that one was hit by the propeller and it pulled out and the other one's still in, he's got an engine failure. So I contacted Bridgeport. Oh, we can't contact him. Seriously. They gave me they told me to call Worcester Tower. You don't have a tower at Fitchburg, do you? I said, no, sir, we don't. Well, contact Worcester. They should be able to talk tower to tower. I called Worcester. We can't do that.
Did you
So
call that 800 Boston Center number?
I did.
Yeah.
We can't do that. So anyhow, Ashley, the assistant manager, said, well, he's flying over New York. Why don't you call New York FAA? So I thought, that's a good idea. So I called New York FAA. What's his tail number? Yeah, we'll take care of that.
Yeah.
All right, kudos to Ashley.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So just, you've got to make a decision. That guy could have died if somebody didn't make a decision, you know? And he actually called me because I texted him. I tried to call him on the phone, but he was switched off. I tried to text him. I tried to text him, and it didn't show that it had been received. So he called me basically and said, Peter, I'm okay. The other one was in the back. I think I left it on the wing. But to be honest, it was chopped. I think a prop went through it.
Yeah.
I've got it in the office.
Yeah.
So,
There's a famous story about a TBM that came from Bahamas and landed at Port St. Lucie, one of those airports of entry. And the guy asked, can I pull off just a taxiway? I got to take care of something. And the tower's like, well, okay. But there's a lot of drug interdiction going on down there, so they're very, very heightened awareness. So they're watching on their binoculars as he shuts down, gets out, and he reaches all the way in the engine jet inlet and pulls the covers out.
no.
He had flown from the Bahamas to
No.
Florida with the cowl cover sucked up against the
How
inertia.
did he get away with that?
That airplane can still breathe.
From what?
It's got multiple gas paths, multiple air inlet paths.
My goodness.
He was lucky.
That surprises me, Paul. Really does.
It's a good one.
Yeah? Yeah.
It happens.
Okay, so,
Okay.
Russ.
Okay.
And we have a new turbine aircraft based at Fitchburg, Abrams TBM. So another jet fuel consuming
sir.
aircraft has
Yes, sir.
moved in.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, sir.
and he flies a lot.
He does.
So that airplane, that'll be good for fuel sales.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one pilot or one aircraft owner at a time.
It is, but if you think about it, even if you flew 2 or 3 or 4 times a month, you're looking at $50,000, $60,000 a year in sales,
Yeah,
Jet A.
yeah. Yeah,
And think of that, these new hangars.
yeah.
Yeah.
And had we not done the runway lengthening, had we not had, a new terminal building, had we not had the items that we have corrected for the last 10 years, none of this
Approaches.
would come to fruition.
The instrument approach is
Yeah.
pivotal
Yeah.
with the new runway.
Yeah. I got one question on the airport manager. Does he have a name?
Yes.
He will on
does.
Friday.
Oh,
Okay,
On Friday, he will.
anonymous.
Yeah.
curious about that.
We're going to move into item 5, financial review, approval of commitments and abatements.
We did 2 last month, there's none this month.
We did. I do question that. When I signed 2 last month. Do we don't motion for those to be approved?
No, it's not necessary.
Yeah.
It needs to be done, it doesn't need a vote.
Okay,
You
just
know,
needs a second
We
set of
owed
eyes.
them, we owed them the money,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah,
But because we're a public entity, then we have to satisfy the public's, inquiry. Well,
Yeah.
what happened to this guy?
Yeah.
He was owed money. Well, no, he didn't, because
Yeah.
he did an abatement, so.
yeah. It was just something when I read through the minutes,
Right.
and I knew we didn't vote
Right,
or motion, but
no, not
just
necessary.
want a little clarity. Item 6 is executive session. There's a yes here, but the answer is no, there's not an executive session this evening.
That's correct. Basically, the situation is still exactly the same as it was last month, but
Yeah.
they have moved ahead.
Yeah,
The last discussion was that the FBA co-op will give within after the next 2 weeks, because they're going to be out of the country then, they will give, a response to the agreement that Attorney Provencher has actually provided to them.
yep, okay, good. Well, at least it's moving somewhere forward. Date and time of next regular meeting, August 20th, 2025, 6 PM.
Nope.
Here. Oh, no, that's right.
You need to vote it off, though.
I am going to be away, and there's really no additional items that are gonna, that we can foresee, so I'm gonna ask for a summer reprieve for August, like we did last year.
Make a motion, we postpone the August meeting.
Perfect, Rich, thank you.
Postpone or skip?
Second for that?
Cancel. Not
Cancel.
postpone. Cancel.
We're skipping.
We'll cancel, whatever.
You can't
we need to-
postpone it. There's no another August coming. It's got to be cancelled.
We're going to cancel the August meeting and resume
All right, Rich, I know exactly what you
business
were
in
talking about.
September.
We'll have a double September meeting.
Seconded.
Is that second to postpone or cancel?
To cancel and hold our next meeting in
All right.
September.
Let's take a vote.
Third.
But before that, does anybody have a calendar of September the what? Because we need to put it in the minutes.
Would it be the
Yeah.
third Wednesday of September?
Yes, please.
So that would be the 17th?
September the 17th.
17th, yep.
2025. Okay? All right, Rich, you happy with that?
September 17th.
All right?
In the
Okay,
calendar.
excellent.
Okay,
On that, I make a motion to adjourn.
second.
I'm all about that. It is 6:46. Motion to adjourn.
Oh, Jackie's just...
Everybody.
Jackie's back.
Jackie's still here.
Aye.
See you in a couple months,
Jackie,
Jackie.
we're leaving now.
Okay.
Enjoy
goodbye.
your evening.
See you all.
Thanks for
See you in
coming.
September.
Thank you. Bye-bye. See you in September.
Okay.
You know what that means?
Record time.